So today we're looking at critical elements every website must have. These are critical elements. So I need to crack on because this is a big one. It's a good one. Before I start, I just want to say you never get a second chance to make first impression. Please do bear that in mind. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. So that's why your homepage is the most important page on the website. It really is the most important page on your website. So let's focus in on the homepage a bit more. Over the last few weeks, we've been showing you how to optimize your landing pages, what kind of things you can add to your homepage, some of the basic essentials. I'm going to really go into more depth today and more detail on some of those elements. We're going to be showing you some new stuff as well. But in terms of the homepage, it's all about first impressions. Within 3 seconds, a website needs to tell visitors what the business has to offer. Now, we've been talking about this 3, 5, 7 second opportunity, this window that you have. We've been talking about this in previous webinars. But according to Google, we've been talking to them a lot in the last couple of weeks. We understand it's more around the 3 second mark. So within 3 seconds, a website needs to tell visitors what the business has to offer. The headline is really important. So I'm going to give you some examples. I'm going to talk about this, but I'm going to go into some really sort of detailed bits about your mobile site and what you need to do on a mobile friendly site. So we'll come to that in a minute. You need to make sure your headline is targeting, a good tip, 20 to 35% of the people that are most likely to be happy with your business. So write your headline as if you're targeting, around 30% of people that are likely to be happy with your product. Okay, so if that doesn't make sense, then just think about those customers or those people that have used your product, happy with your product. How could you write that headline? Many of you on your websites, and I'm going to flick back to chat, by the way, as I'm doing all this, I'm flicking back to chat. Many of your websites have got headlines, and those homepage headlines will say plumbers Leeds, builders Manchester, accommodation Lake District, and so on and so on. And that's okay. That's good for SEO. So when it comes to SEO, keywords and locations in your headline is good. However, if you're a brand or a business that is able to invent or come up with a strapline, a marketing message, and I've been talking about this in previous webinars, then I would encourage you to consider using that instead. You can always put the keywords in headlines on other pages. So your other pages, so for example, your service pages. So if you're a plumber and I went to your boiler repair page on your website, the headline would be boiler repair Manchester, for example. It's the keyword and location. But your homepage, that's where you're really bringing in the visitor, making that visitor think, and trying to entice them in and trying to lead them down a path. So you're trying to get them down a path. That's what the homepage is all about. It's not necessarily about making an immediate inquiry. So an example here on the screenshot, it's all coming together. That's what I would call a marketing strapline. That's a strapline, a tagline that they've come up with for their business. Make it clear and simple, though. The key thing is with the headline is make it clear and simple. Now, this one actually isn't that simple, but it's still a really good example of a homepage headline. And yeah, this is a headline on a homepage. And the website is hard graphed. They are particularly good with design, but they're just a small business, but they have really good products that they make. Now, their headline is all about, driven by instinct, they say, design, luxury, lifestyle, accessories, down to earth, aesthetics. So they're really thinking about the environment, 100% made in Italy, premium leather. Look how they're highlighting certain words, the words that are most important to that business. So I said to you last week and even the week before to start to think about the words and the associate with your business, but the benefits as well. We were talking about benefits a lot, and that's where it should go into the headline. So try to include a solution in your headline that fixes the problem. So, for example, I gave the example of a fitness instructor. Let's say you offer consultations. That's your main unique selling point. Well, your headline would say something like, get a free 30-minute consultation and fix those pains, fix those injuries. I don't know. Yeah, but you're offering, your headline needs to fix the problem that the visitor has. So offer that solution within the headlines and mention how your solution fixes the problem, but include the benefits as well. So you want to be trying to include the benefits. So we're going to talk about that a bit more. So here's another good example of a headline, classic looks, modern engineering. So I know you all know what headlines are now. The homepage, the hero image, it's the lead text on the front page of your website. So just going back to that example there, and even the one before this one, it's all about making sure that the benefits of your business are coming across. What is a benefit? It's the result of your product or service. It's not what it does or what it is. It's the result of someone using your product or service. So try to get across in that headline the benefits to your visitor, to your potential consumer, and try to get across how your service fixes their potential problem. Okay, so hopefully that's making sense. And we've been talking about this a lot in the last couple of webinars. But I just noticed, I did a bit of an audit on a few websites, and I noticed maybe a bit of a lack of creative thinking in the headline. Many people are using just simple headlines like plumber's leads, and that's okay. That describes what you do in one simple line. But can we think of more of a marketing strap line? Okay, so that's the key here. Can we include the solution that fixes the problem? Can we highlight how your service fixes a problem? And of course, you also have a secondary headline. So this is starting off nice and easy, by the way, everyone. This is really quite basic stuff. We're going to be going into a little bit more detail, though, as we go along. So the secondary headline sits below the headline on your homepage. And obviously, I've used this example again. It's all coming together. And I think this is about this particular headline here, this particular business, this screenshot I've got is about an app that you can manage your finances and bills all in one place. It's all about bringing everything together. So they've come up with that strapline of it's all coming together. The sub headline or the secondary headline is a description of what you do. So in this secondary headline is where you would describe more what you actually offer and what you do. So, for example, a plumber, a builder, an accommodation, B&B, accountant, solicitor. It's a description of what you do, but again, focusing on the pain point, and try to do that, especially in this bit. Because if you can't do that in the headline, that's okay. But a secondary headline is where you really should focus in on the pain point that your service solves. So what does your service solve? And then, so for this example, they've got, when you're on top of money, life is good. I mean, I haven't read, I briefly read this secondary headline the other day. It's a good example, but I think about it, now that I'm in the webinar, I'm thinking, okay, that's a really good example of benefits, highlighting the benefit, the result. Remember, a benefit is a result of what your service does. So when you're on top of money, life is good, right? We all want life to be good. And that's the benefit, the feeling, the emotion that I get from using this service. We help you effortlessly manage your finances in one place. Effortlessly manage your finances in one place. So it's all about efficiency and speed and managing it all in one place. So it's really highlighting how the service fixes the pain point. In this example here, you've got the headline as your workflow structured and smarter. This is a work management solution, but it just showcasing here the secondary headline. Try to customize work management solution leaders trust and employees love working on. Again, it's a brief description of what you do, focusing in on the pain point. So yeah, it's focusing in on the pain point. It's really important though to have, if you can, have your headline, as I say, being like a marketing strapline for your business, and then the secondary headline being focusing on the pain point. on the pain point. So let me give you an example. Actually, I was working with a lovely lady the other day. Let me just show you an example of someone I was working with just a few days ago, and I hope she doesn't mind, but she has a really lovely business. It's puppets, plays, and story days. So they do storytelling in schools, and they use story sets, and they also offer story sets. So if you, I'd recommend reaching out to her if this sounds interesting, because she's a lovely lady with a great business. But what I said to her, her headline just isn't highlighting the benefits of her service. It isn't shouting out about the benefits, and it isn't really focusing on the pain. So we've rewritten this and spent some time working on this. So let me try and show you the example of that, if I may. I'm just going to go to our dashboard, and I'll show you exactly how we've turned that particular line into a more better marketing message. So bear with me, and I'll show you. Okay, so here we go. So just to kind of reiterate again, this is her current website. Here it is with the existing line. Now we are rebuilding the homepage, and here's the old site, and we wanted to bring it to life a bit and change. We're looking at the logo as well and really making it a bit more fun. And so here's the new site. It's work in progress, of course, but I just want to focus in on the strapline being bringing stories to life. And that's kind of a good example of what I'm trying to refer to here in this webinar. Is the headline being a new strapline, bringing stories to life. We've helped her with that. And we're changing this a little bit, but we're going along lines of, puppetry, creating magical educational experiences through interactive storytelling. So this bit's key here, creating magical and educational experiences through interactive storytelling. So you can see how that differs from the current headline and the current look of the website. And if I go down, here's the sort of sections of the current site, and we're rejigging that. So as you go down, you have a bit of a story about the business, first-class storytelling using quality puppets, etc., etc., etc. And then you have more of a better kind of section to choose the services and products. That's the old one, the existing one, and this is potentially the new one. And so on and so on. We're really trying to focus in on the marketing message, loved by many. At the moment they've got reviews, and that's where we're trying to, nobody's going to really read all of this content, and we want to bring it to life a little bit. So that's kind of what we're trying to do there. But I guess essentially the key thing here is the headline and the marketing kind of angle, the message that we're going on there. So let me just see if everything's okay. Yeah, I'll just go back. So the secondary headline, again, highlight how your service fixes the pain point. What I want to talk about, though, we've talked about headlines and secondary headlines quite a lot, but the image, the homepage image is really important. People are very visual, and most people are visual. So make sure that this image is high quality. And so that example there, the high quality image there, look how it's zoomed in, it's high resolution. It's been done by a professional photographer. This is a local business. So please do consider, if you haven't already, maybe get a professional photographer, or at least a very good camera. Get some good photos and use that in your homepage hero image. It's important to make sure that your homepage is doing the selling within 3 seconds. And the example, obviously, I showed here was I felt that these images, whilst obviously really nice and lovely, I just felt that we've got a different angle here. We're actually going with a bit more of a creative angle, about bringing stories to life. And then obviously we can highlight some of the images within the sections here. So use of imagery is really important, and it draws people in. So this is all about drawing people in. But most people are visual, so make sure it's high quality. And so on. Okay, the other thing about the hero image is in your hero image, so we're looking at the top of the homepage, if you've got a slider or a carousel, then there's a bit of a word of warning around that, because most people will only be looking at the first slider, the first carousel. So the user should always be in control, says Google. So maybe avoid carousels. So, you know, where the hero image slides from image to image. So you might have 3, maybe 5 different images. And on those images, you might have different buttons and different messages. But essentially, the user should always be in control. And so what I'd recommend is that you don't have that image or that carousel, if it's a carousel, don't have it automatically sliding through, with, especially when it's different messages on each image. So don't have it going through different messages. Allow the user to be in control of that. And so you might allow it so that the user can flick to that next image themselves. So unfortunately, I didn't have a chance last night. I was finishing this one off last night. I didn't have a chance to get a good example, but I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about when I say carousel. And if you think to a website that you've used and you've got these carousels, but they're not flicking through, you can actually drag and change them yourself. There's many websites that do that. That is what we're saying we'd recommend, is that you allow the user, it doesn't automatically change. You actually have the user flicking through those different images themselves. The human eye reacts to movement, and we will miss the important stuff. Too many messages equals no message. I've said this before. If you have too many messages and too many call to actions, you have no message. And it ends up being banner blindness. There's too many different banners, too many different options. And there's some research being done here. And this graph on the right-hand side shows the amount of click-throughs that the different sliders, the different banners get. So you can see on position 2, 3, 4, 5, so any other sliders you have, click-throughs drop to almost 0% when you're using a carousel. So that was a huge warning for us. And this is new research, so it's just food for thought. In terms of the homepage itself, the actual the button, the call to action button, the reason why it's there is to get people to dig deeper. So I just want to kind of encourage people to think about the button in their homepage hero image. What it's there to do is to make visitors go further, deeper within the website. There's like a path that you want people to go on. So what is that journey that you want people to go on? And so another good example of this, if I just check back in here, and I'm going to show you an example. Before I do, I'll just answer a question. Michelle asks, when our carousel wasn't automated, we had loads of people feedback that they weren't aware there was other news items other than the first one. What I would do, Michelle, is instead of having the carousel with everything in there rotating around, have the important news items below the hero image. I'm actually going to come to that in a moment, and I'm referring to featured items, for example, or news or most popular items. So have this stuff below the hero image. I'm going to show you an example of that in a minute. So a good example of the journey. This business had a website where the button on the homepage here, this button, went straight to the contact page. So check your website. Does your homepage have a button that goes straight to the contact page? That's not a bad thing, but what I would say is, can we start to think about using that button in a better way? And so I've changed it. Me and the team have changed the button on this website from contact us to learn more. Because this business has a unique proposition, a unique service of language courses that they offer, and you can learn in less time, and they are specifically tailored around your needs, your schedule. They're very bespoke language courses, so not kind of like a one size fits all. So that's what they're pushing. We rejigged all of this, by the way. It used to just say language courses Cambridge, offering language courses from, very basic information, but we've changed this and highlighted the benefits by adding in less time, bespoke training courses designed around you. We've really sort of highlighted some of the benefits and how this service fixes potential problems. But what we've done is we've made sure not to link that to the Contact Us page, because if you sent them to the Contact Us page, well, where's the journey? You know, people land on the homepage and you've got to consider that journey. So we've sent them to the language course pages. And then on that, they can obviously read more about the different courses, et cetera, et cetera. But we've made sure to have clear call to actions to then inquire. So that's when you want to have the inquire or the contact us button. Once they've gone into the deeper depths of the website, you then can obviously get them to go to that inquiry call to action, like so. But the homepage, the hero image, high quality, the headline, clear, express yourself with language courses. That's pretty nice. The secondary headline is all about the benefits and fixing the problem. And then you've got a call to action that gets someone deeper within the website. So the goal of the homepage CTA is to make people dig deeper, further down the tunnel. And you need to make sure that CTA button is striking and visually prominent. So you can see on the Uber website, a good designer has made sure that button stands out from everything else. Now, obviously, you might be wanting them to, if you're a business that offers something, quick, like make an appointment or try it for free. If you want to offer something where they can try for free or sign up, that might be the button that you use. And I know that's leading to the inquiry straight away, but if you're offering a service or product where there's no real need to learn more or read more about, so Uber obviously is pretty simple, then that's where you would have a stronger, quicker call to action to the inquiry. But I would make sure that your homepage call to action is getting people to dig deeper, further down the funnel, and then later down in that funnel, you have them inquiring. And a similar example here, this is a plumbing website, and it's just a template website, but they've got our services. It's not contact us, it's our services. And so if I was to go to that website, because luckily I've got that one loaded up right here, let me just close a couple of things. If I go to that website, here it is. This is our website dashboard, and there's the call to action. If I was to click on that, it then takes me through to their services, and obviously then I can pick one and inquire. So it's sending someone deeper within the journey. Okay, so just quick drink. Oh, a little bit of coffee there, spilling my coffee everywhere. Okay, so the homepage on mobile phone is really an essential thing to start considering if you haven't already. Now, I'm sure you've all got mobile-friendly websites. I'm hoping you've got mobile-friendly websites. If you haven't, well, obviously check your website on your mobile phone, and make sure it's mobile-friendly. If your website allows you to scroll left and right, that's not a good kind of journey, a good experience. So make sure your website on mobile phone, you can't scroll left and right, that it's basically just up and down, and it's fixed. And also make sure the font, the text is readable, and the buttons are clickable. So make sure it's easy to press the buttons with your finger on mobile. So there's a good example of a big, easy to press button on mobile phone, but use white space around that button as well. So check your buttons, your call to actions on your mobile device. What I mean by white space is if you've got other links around that button or other bits and bobs around that button, people might accidentally click that, and that is really frustrating when people. We've all done it. I mean, I'm sure you've done it on a mobile site yourself. When you've clicked on a link that was next to the button by accident, you've gone to the wrong page. It is a bit frustrating. So make sure there's plenty of space and padding around that button, but really make sure it's big enough to press. And we'll be coming back to mobile in a minute. We'll be coming back to mobile. We've got quite a lot to cover still here, actually. So the benefits are, so we've been looking at the hero. We've been talking about the benefits in the hero image, in the secondary headline. But of course, the benefits and the unique selling points need to be highlighted underneath. We'd recommend underneath the hero image as well. So you can see on this example, they've got bullet points of benefits. That's a good way of doing it. You could have icons, a bit more visual, but it's, again, like I say, it's the result of your product or service. So what does your product or service actually do for someone? What's the result of them using your product or service? So I remember last week that we had a bridal wear shop, and she was saying that they offer a personal experience. It's, you know, lovely experience that, and they will help you from beginning to end. And I said to her, but that's great. That's a good start. But what's the result of that? And we were thinking, well, it makes people feel less stressed about their wedding. You know, sorting out weddings is a stressful thing, isn't it? So I was recommending to her to add a bit about how it makes people feel by using your service. Not just what you do and the features, but how it actually makes people feel. So it's not what it does, it's how it makes them feel. Thinking about the WIFM, we call it. What's in it for me? That's your website visitor, your consumer, and they just want to know what's in it for me. That's all they want to know is what's in it for me. What do I get out of this using this service? So there it is, the bullet points on this particular example. You know, see the bills and money in one place, get alerts, stop logging into multiple sites. These are really sort of focusing on the pains that people face. So that's a good one. And of course, within the website itself, so below the benefits or below the hero image, this is another example of a really good, really well-designed website. And what they've done here is they've got section for each benefit. So one section says about writing, you know, in terms of short lists, no matter what form whatever you're writing. And this is for Evernote. Evernote are a really good company in terms of web design. And Evernote is saying here that it keeps your lists focused on moving out those ideas. So it's talking about how, you know, creating lists in Evernote. It's an app, by the way, a list making app. And they're talking about the benefit of creating those lists. Then the second one down says about collecting, easily gather everything that matters. You know, so gather everything. So from articles, images, photos, whatever, you know, whatever it may be. They're really focusing on the benefit there. And as you go down the website, they're talking about how you can share and collaborate and how you can present. Look at how they've styled the underneath the homepage, and clear, lots of spacing around the text, around the benefits, clear headlines, and they've spent thousands with a marketing team deciding on what those headlines should be for those benefits. Write, collect, discuss, present, and then you've got some content around that. They spend thousands of pounds on this stuff. Of course, if you're not a creative thinker, I don't think that matters. I think you need to know your business, which I'm sure you all do. But you start by writing down the features of your product or service and the benefits of your products. And so write them down, brainstorm, features, benefits. And then around the benefits, start to write out, you know, how it solves the pains of your customers. And that's the kind of content you should get across on your website. I'm highlighting this because you've got 3 seconds. You've got maybe at most 15 seconds. And if your website doesn't get this stuff across quickly and clearly and in a very presentable, cool looking way, people just won't use your business. People will not trust your business. They won't value your business. And they'll just go to someone, they'll check out someone else. They'll just go back to Google or Bing and they'll check on another website. So people are going to your website and then going back to the search engine and clicking on another one. You've got a very short amount of time to capture that attention. If you're on mobile phone, if you're focusing on your mobile phone, have that benefit above the fold. I'm hoping everyone knows what above the fold is. In fact, I'm going to ask you what above the fold. So can anyone in the chat let me know what we mean by above the fold? What does that mean, above the fold? On mobile devices. On mobile devices. Looking for some good answers. The answers will come in 3, 2, 1. I reckon we'll get a couple of good ones coming in. Usually takes a few seconds. There we go. So Harry, you're the first one to the call there. Things that you can see before scrolling. Yeah, absolutely correct. Yeah, Adam, before you scroll. Leslie, I think, yeah, we've got some good answers here. So it's the stuff you can see before scrolling, before you scroll down. So it's above the fold. Some really good answers there. Yes, Phil, you're absolutely right. Shirley Ann, correct. Denise, correct. So it's the things that you can see above the fold, which is before you scroll down, the first half of your screen. Absolutely right. Some good answers, Sean. Yeah, you're right as well. I'll just go back to the presentation. So I can't see any more answers in the chat there. Really sorry. But it is basically the stuff before you start scrolling down. So on mobile phone, here's 3 good examples that I've brought for you today in terms of how they're highlighting the benefits above the fold, display a clear benefit. And when someone asked in the chat before, someone said in the chat that if you've got news or if you've got things that you want to show off, you want to get across quite quickly, having a carousel is a little bit dangerous to get across important information. So what I said is below the hero image, show top categories on your homepage, below the hero image, maybe, okay, and or featured properties or most popular wedding dresses, whatever it may be. Show top categories or featured items on the homepage. You have to do it on the homepage if you can. So there's a kitchen company on the right hand side. It's Victorian Plumbing. They're obviously plumbing, kitchens, bathrooms. Sorry, not kitchens, bathrooms. And they have got their featured products on their homepage in easy to click tiles. It's something that we've done. We've done this ourselves with a website where I've been using as an example throughout this webinar series, Yorkshire Escapes. It's just, they've had such a growth story. It's incredible. But what we did is we have on their website, just below the hero image, it says our featured homes. So you should be able to see that on my screen. It says our featured homes, and you've got 3 homes there that they are featuring as either most popular or the featured ones, the ones, you know, that they want to highlight at any given time. So that's how I would recommend that you use space on mobile or desktop, but show the categories or the most popular items. Maybe just below the hero image, or at least on the homepage somewhere. It helps with the discovery stage. It helps people discover things that they weren't considering. Okay, so especially if you're in accommodation or you have different cottages on your books, then it helps people discover cottages that they wouldn't have normally thought of, or products that you offer, or services that you offer. So it creates that discovery. Obviously, we've talked about social proof, but this is just a reminder that it's a massive indicator of trust. People want to and need to hear from other people before they make a decision. So this is all about your homepage still. If you haven't got social proofing on your homepage, i.e. reviews, testimonials, etc., then I encourage everyone, you must try and get that on your homepage, because people do need to see and hear it from other people before they make a decision. So I'm going through some really key essential things here, and we're still talking about the homepage, but one thing that I haven't mentioned about the homepage is the navigation menu. The navigation menu is such an important part of your website. You've got to make sure that there's a clear path, a clear, simple, intuitive navigation menu, and avoid it going on to 2 lines. So I've seen a couple of websites recently where you can see this example here, you've got a row of page names, but then there's more pages that are going on to 2 lines. That is not good practice. Keep it really clean and simple. I see that this guy, this website, this plumber has sinks, drains, pipes, heating, cooling. You could even pull those pages into a services drop-down page if you wanted to free up space. So instead of having all of your different categories and services along the navigation bar, you could have them in a drop-down under the service. But make sure it's easy to navigate and easy to use and clear. If you can, include a search box. So especially for your e-commerce, do have a search box on your website if you're e-commerce. But if you've got lots of different products and services, you might want to have a search box. So having a search box increases conversions so much, and I'll be coming to that in a moment. Search boxes, you can see search boxes here on mobile devices. You see on all 3 of these screenshots, there's like a search icon search box. And we encourage everyone, if you can, and especially if you've got e-commerce, make sure that you have a search function in there. If your menu on mobile has got to be consolidated small enough, less than 1/5 of the page. Make sure your menu on mobile. So I'm sure many of you are checking your mobile menu right now. Make sure that menu is less than 1/5 of the page. All of this information I'm giving you is straight from Google. Google has done so much research and data, it has so much data and insights on this stuff, and they've seen by doing these changes, and they've worked even with Boots. You can see, a good example with Boots and Victorian Plumbing, etc. By making these changes, which we can all make, but by making these changes, conversion rates shoot up massively. So you see a huge improvement in conversion rates if you follow these best practices. If you have a physical store, or if you have more than one branch or office or shop, obviously, if you have multiple physical places where people can go, Google are saying to include a store indicator icon. And especially important when you're on mobile. So you can see on these 3 examples, you've got a kind of a pin at the top of the screen there. There's a pin. So on the middle image, the pin is on the top right. And you can see and you can go to the stores. On the 3rd image, on the right-hand side, it's in the menu. So it says find a store within the menu. On the left image, on the suit one on the left-hand side, you've got a pin at the top. Make sure that you do have a store locator icon, and that can then get people to find your different stores. On mobile, again, an essential tip on mobile is to include a floating menu that sticks as users scroll. So when people are scrolling down on mobile devices, that menu at the top, the menu at the top needs, if you can have it sticking so that it goes down with as the visitor scrolls, that really does help with navigation and again, conversion rate. So a floating menu that sticks with scroll. So this is a really big tip for mobile devices. Again, especially for e-commerce, super important. But for any business, this is really important. And again, on the mobile side of things, navigation menu, I'm just going to go back to that search function, because we've all seen Amazon with their Searchbox. Users that search, this goes back to what I said, they're 200% more likely to convert. So if you've got a search box on your website and you make it really easy for people to search, people that use that are apparently far more likely to convert because they're searching with higher intent. So rather than just clicking on a category on your website and browsing, they're actually searching for something that they need or they know they want already. So that intent is stronger. So make it really easy for people to search. But essentially, the whole journey, the whole mobile journey, the mobile website that you've got needs to be frictionless. Frictionless experience. And I'm going to come back to that in a second, but frictionless means make it easy, make sure there's no frustrations for the visitor, make sure that journey is nice and smooth, step by step. Okay, so another thing you could consider with your website is, have any of you got online chat? Because we know that conversion rates increase when people have a chat function on their website. It drives engagement as well. And you can have these chat boxes have instant answers, and you can use bots that are really, really impressive now. When you see the word bots, you think it's not going to work. They're not going to. But now the technology, the learning is incredible. And you can set these up to answer consumers when they're on your website, because people are shopping all day, all night. People are 2 a.m, 11 p.m. at night. You need to be there for your consumers when they're online. And so if you use a chat function on your website, that can really drive conversions and engagement. So this is another essential thing that I would consider. Of course, if you're not comfortable with having this, then don't worry. It's not one of the most essential things, but it's very important. If you can get a chat function, it does drive more engagement. It makes it easy for people. It's making that frictionless experience. Frictionless in terms of getting in touch with you, inquiring, or buying from you. So it's all really important. Another essential, these are critical items. If you've got a blog, well done. Fantastic. Thank you. If you've got a blog, that's a great start because you've been listening either to the webinar, you've had it for all this time, and we really encourage you to have a blog if you haven't. It really does add value. But not only does it add value, it gives you an opportunity to build trust between you and the visitor. So I would encourage you, and Google encourage you, to write articles that build value, that add value. So, for example, 16 homes that are, in this case, verdant, vicarious plant paradises, whatever. You can think of something that relates to your business. 9 ways that you can, I don't know, make home improvements for less than £20. Give people knowledge and give and add value in your blog. Teach people stuff. Give them knowledge and build that trust. And so, using these kind of blog tips like 9 ways, 3 tips to get you more inquiries, those kind of titles really do tend to get more clicks and conversions. So a couple of tips there in terms of use an odd number. So use an odd number. So for example, 9, 3, if you can, because that seems to work quite well when it comes to blogs. Okay, I want to talk about forms and forms on your website because this is so important. We've got a bit of time to cover this. So I just want to make sure everyone's got the right form set up on their website, because a poorly designed form can really lead to a frustrated user. So we've all been on websites looking at forms. It can lead to a frustrated user. So for example, Expedia, they learned the wrong way. They were losing $12 million a year in profits because of one irrelevant form field box. Just because of one form field box, they removed it, and the conversions and profits obviously increased by removing the irrelevant box. What do I mean by that? So I'm just going to make sure everyone's okay. Everything looks okay, so I'm just checking in, just making sure the chat's all working and everyone's all good. But yeah, we need to make sure that the forms are optimized. So how can we optimize forms? Well, there we go. So 3 to 4 fields if you can. 3 to 4 fields. Fewer, less is more, basically. Less is more. A single column form beats multi-column forms as well. So what I mean by single column, I mean all on one kind of row, like going down below each other, rather than having them on 2 columns, for example. So you've got name, email, phone number, horizontal going across. Make sure, if you can, have a single column, because it just improves conversion rates. But less is more. That's the critical thing. So the fewer the fields, the more conversions you'll get. Try not to ask for phone numbers. So asking for someone's phone number, think about it. Why would someone need? Why would a business need my phone number? It can lose trust, and it makes people a little bit skeptical. And I think the word that Google used is it's sketchy. Was the word that they used. It loses that trust, because why would you need their phone number if you can avoid phoning them? If there's no reason for it, or if there's no legitimate reason for it, then don't ask for the phone number. So instead, focus on name, email. Email is the item that you'll likely get people filling in. That's absolutely fine. Emails, I'll throw my email out there. It's absolutely fine. But phone number, that can put people off filling a form. So all of these things, from the headline to the secondary headline to the image, the benefits, the mobile experience, all of these massively improve conversion rates on your website, or they make or break that conversion in terms of when people are looking at your website in the first 3, 5, 7 seconds. If you do have a long form, so if you've got a form that has lots and lots of fields, so some of you have forms where you need 10, 15, 20 different things filling out. And I understand that. For some businesses, you need that. What I would do is use a step form. A step form is where you only have 1 field or 2 fields shown at a time, and you go through the different steps. The visitor, the website visitor, can see the different steps at the top of the form, so they know what's coming next. Think about it. All of the big brands do this to us. So if I'm on Amazon, or if I'm booking, or if I'm booking a holiday or buying a product or service, the form I'm filling out is maybe first of all for my address, and then I can see that it's going to say for payment, and then I can see it's going to say delivery. So they all use step forms, and there's a reason why, because it massively increases conversion rates. And if you're a business, a small business that needs lots of form fills, lots of fields, on your form, then do ensure that you try to use a multi-step form. And like I said, it does increase conversion rates massively. Conversion rates, in terms of conversion rates, bettingexpert.com tweaked the form copy, so the headline and button text, and they tweaked it slightly, and it led to an increase of 33% in membership signups. And so look what they did. They had join betting expert. So the original was actually, I'm going to focus in on the button. It says sign up on the button, and then on the test they put sign up and get the best daily tips. Okay, so on the original form they had just sign up, and then on the new form they put sign up and get the best daily tips. And then obviously they've matched the headline on that form, get free betting tips. So they changed their wording on their form just slightly, and they tested it. And this is the beauty of split testing. And you can do this. You can have two similar pages with a campaign going to two different pages, test them out. We do that in our own campaign management and marketing. And they saw a 33% increase in conversions. So you can see there, they've on the left-hand side button, they've gone from sign up to sign up and get the best daily tips. Get the best daily tips. Well, there we go. There's a feature, a benefit. You know, they're actually highlighting features and benefits within the call to action. What a great tip that is. Just something to think about. Massively improved their conversion rates by 33%. When we're on mobile, please do remember that typing on mobile is hard. So 27% of people abandon orders and forms due to a long and complicated process. If they're on mobile phone and they're trying to fill out a form, please do bear this in mind that almost 30% of people will just abandon it if it's a long and complicated process. And according to Google, 35% of users will abandon the checkout. And this is on obviously an e-commerce website if the retailer does not offer guest checkout. So there's all these things, these frictions that we have on our websites that can massively impact conversion rates. If you're an e-commerce business, and if you haven't got guest checkout on your checkout, then you will be losing so many conversions because of that. So make sure it's a frictionless experience. Make it as easy as possible for the visitor. And again, if you're e-commerce, use Apple Pay. Embrace Apple Pay, because I was speaking to someone the other day, and in fact, he was saying he doesn't buy from a website now unless it offers Apple Pay. Unless he can do it on his phone on Apple Pay, he won't even buy a product or service anymore. I think more and more people are getting like this. So Apple Pay is something that I would definitely consider. Okay, I've already mentioned that categories. I've already mentioned that one, so we'll just. So we mentioned about the Searchbox, and I wanted to go in on the Searchbox. If you're an e-commerce store, have a look at your mobile website, or if you're just any business, have a look at your mobile website. If you've got a search box, look at the difference, replacing the search icon with the search box. So what this company did is they went from just having an icon to having a permanent box at the top. It increased conversion rates massively, increased by 43% on desktop and 13% on mobile. So conversion and usage increased massively when they replace just having an icon to actually having a permanent search box, as you can see on these two examples here. So it's a sticky search box that they went to, and it basically shot through the roof. Okay. And just a quick one here. I know there's not many of you that have e-commerce websites. So if you do have an e-commerce website, just a quick one in terms of the benefits and the value proposition, make sure when someone's buying that product, when they're at the very last stage of buying that product, that you reiterate the value proposition. So there's a good example on the left-hand side. It's got shipping, free returns, secure payment. On the middle one, it's got about free shipping. Everyone, all these big brands and all these successful e-commerce stores, at the very end of the experience experience of buying a product, they will reiterate the benefits and USPs again, because so many of us drop out in the checkout. Okay, when we're checking out, so many of us just don't go through with it and don't pay. If you reiterate the benefits and USPs, you will convert better. If you have a search box or something on your where people need to type in their postcode, or they need to put a number into your website, or they need to put a credit card even in your website, this is a big one. This frustrates me so often when I'm trying to buy something online and I just need to type in my phone number or my credit card details, and on the left hand side I'm faced with the letters, the keyboard which has the letters. I just want it to default to the keyboard that has the numbers. So if I'm typing in a number, I just want to type that number in really quickly and just get it done with, right? Same with credit cards, same with postcode. It's so frustrating when that doesn't happen. And we've all probably experienced this without knowing it. But I get frustrated with this. And I've often thought this myself: why don't more businesses make sure that the right keyboard comes up when they're wanting people to type a number into their website? And that is something your web developer can help with. It's just a really important point for those businesses that are looking for people to leave their number or something on their website. Make sure the right keyboard comes up when the visitor types the number. Wow, there's a lot of stuff we're going through here. But in terms of frictionless, I'm whizzing through the e-commerce bit because not many of you have e-commerce, but can people edit the quantity of their goods in the cart, in the checkout? Can you edit the amount that you want? Please do make sure they can. And how do you get them back later on? If they don't convert straight away, how are you going to get those people back on straight away? Make sure it's frictionless. Remove, and this is a summary of what I mean by frictionless. This is just a summary. Remove unnecessary navigational links. Give the option to log in, create a one-page checkout, simplify forms as much as you can. So make things really simple, really quick for the visitor, and really easy. And I can't reiterate that enough. If you're an e-commerce business, you've got to make sure the buying experience is frictionless. So important. So how can you make that as easy as possible? Okay. Oh, there we go. All right. So I'm leaving this on screen. For anyone that's watching this back, these are some of the key elements. This is Google. This is Google's own best practice advice. We have access to this information as a Google Premier Partner. I'm not going to go through all this now, but it's on screen for anyone that's watching this back. You can pause it and have a look at all the different elements that you need to consider from start to finish. Now, this is Google's own advice and that they give us. So this isn't something they're making massively public. They give us, as a Premier Partner agency, this information for us to implement when we're designing websites. And this is what we call, or what Google call, best practices. Look at the amount of best practices that we as an agency have to follow when it comes to e-commerce website design or website design. We have to tick off almost every one as a Premier Partner. Don't forget, we're one of only 3 in the UK that have the Google Premier Partnership and the Microsoft Elite Partnership. So we have exactly the same with Microsoft. And I'm reiterating this because there's a lot of businesses that work with many different agencies or digital marketing people who aren't Google Premier Partners. And I just want to highlight the fact that those businesses don't have to follow best practices, and they don't get this training and these we have a contract with Google and we need to adhere to the best practices, and here are some of those best practices. And this is just web design. Google obviously does Google Ads, right? PPC. You don't want to see the best practices that they give us for PPC. It is an endless list. So we're coming to that in a future webinar with Microsoft or Google joining as well. We're going to be covering about Google Ads and all that. But we've got a whole load of best practices around Google Ads as well. So we really do have to be careful. And this is really good. We wanted to share this with you today. Just whilst we're talking about web design, if you want help with web design, our websites do all of it in one. I'm not trying to pitch our product here. It's just we've had people every week come to us and say, can you help me with web design? Do you do web design? And I keep forgetting to tell everyone that we do web design. Our web design includes design, conversion rate optimization, so CRO, and SEO, which is search engine optimization. So our website design includes all three. And I don't think there's many people in the UK, many businesses in the UK that have all three. So design, conversion rate optimization, and search engine optimization. If you want us to build a website, then we'd love to help. So just get in touch, and we're here to help. If you want to get in touch with us, just go to infoserve.com/support, and you can request a one-to-one on that page, and you can ask us about web design or anything else you want to know. What I'm going to do though is go back to the chat, and if you are leaving me, well, I'll see you next Wednesday if you are leaving me, but don't go, because I'm just going to try and answer a couple of questions before we go. So thank you for sticking with this throughout the last hour. I really appreciate it. We've had almost 100 people in here today, and that is probably one of the highest we've had in a long time. I will put the YouTube link into the chat. Any questions though? And also, if anyone wants to join and come onto the webinar now live, if any of you have time and you want to join in on the webinar and just speak to me face to face on a video call, you can do that now, because we've finished the presentation. So thank you so much for being with us today. Of course, if you're going now, we'll see you next Wednesday. We've got some massive things planned for the next couple of weeks, some huge stuff. I've got some great speakers. We're reaching out to all our partners across the world. I was speaking to a company in Germany today who are the experts at local search listings. And so they've got someone lined up, a keynote presenter that goes around the UK doing huge presentations. We've got someone lined up potentially to join us on that very shortly. So join us next Wednesday at 11 a.m. But anyone wants to join and just ask me a question live, click the speak button. If you click the speak button, you can join this webinar and ask me a question live on the spot. Here comes the YouTube link. It's imminent. Here we go. I'm just grabbing the link as we end the main presentation. So I'm going to put the link in the chat, and this link is for all of our previous previous webinar videos, and there it is at the top of the chat. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the speakers. Mary has asked to join, so Mary's going to ask a question live on the webinar, and so I've accepted Mary. Mary, hopefully you should be able to join. It's lovely having cold coffee, isn't it? I should drink that a little bit earlier. So Emily, answering your question, what do you think is an elegant way to advertise that you've done a blog post? What do you think is an elegant way? That's a great question. Great question, Emily. Other than saying I did a blog. Emily, no one cares about blogs. So that's my opinion. I don't read blogs. When someone says, I've written a blog, read my blog. I mean, I don't tell my best friends here, but I hope they're not watching, but even my best friends who own businesses that say, I've just written a blog post and they're on Facebook and Instagram, and I never read them. I don't read them because the word blog doesn't really do it for me. How would I do it? What's an elegant way? Well, it's all about the headline and the strap line. So when you want to put your blog out there, just say, instead of using the word blog, that will be in the page name, that's okay. But say 15 ways to increase, or 3 ways to, so give a headline, 3 ways that you can, 5 ways that, actually come up with a headline that is adding value to the reader, to the visitor. So you must add value. It must be a compelling article. So you must be teaching them something, if that makes sense, Emily. So that headline needs to get that across pretty quickly, but people will click if you think creative like that. Don't just say, here's my blog. I think Mary's joined. Mary, you will need to enable the audio on your computer. I think if it came up with
I don't know how to do it.
There we go.
I can see you.
Yeah, I can hear you now. If you want to come on video, you can enable the there's an icon. It's like a screen icon on your and if you press that, you can come on, but it's up to you. There we go. Hi, Mary. Good to see you.
Turn that off. I've asked a few times about excuse me, linking Instagram and Twitter and Pinterest. and I don't use Facebook, and I don't want to. I know I have to set up business accounts, but no one's come back to me yet on it.
So you've asked about linking or setting up. Is it that have you got an Instagram account and Facebook account?
Yes, but yes, I have a Facebook, but I don't use it. I don't actually know how to use it, and I don't walk around with my mobile all the time.
Yeah.
But you used to be able to link whatever you put on Instagram to Twitter and vice versa, and you can't do that anymore since Facebook took them over. But other people seem to be able to do that. So that was a specific question. But
yeah,
and to set up business accounts as well. But I need help with that.
Okay, well, we can definitely help you. I'll get someone to help you today. Sorry if you haven't had that help yet. The thing I would say though is that it might be more simple than we think. In terms of, are you wanting to have the same post appear on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook all in one go? Is that what you're looking to do?
Not on Facebook, but yeah.
I would recommend not having the same post on all the on different.
Well, no, if it went to LinkedIn, for example, I would adapt it because it's a different market. But
so you can use there's software out there such as one called Hootsuite, and there's another one called Buffer, Buffer. So Hootsuite or Buffer, and those are platforms where you basically put in your Instagram, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, and your Twitter accounts into that one platform, and you can write a post, and it will put. And you can make sure it goes to all of the platforms all in one go. And you can tweak the posts on the different platforms, but you can essentially manage all of your social media platforms in one place on those. Now, if
I'm not going to do anything yet because I haven't set up business accounts and I'm waiting InfoServer doing my website.
Okay, so we can set up a business account pretty quickly. It wouldn't take more than 15, 30 minutes to set up an account, and then but it's easier to manage them all, like you say, all in one place. And I'd recommend Hootsuite or Buffer. Have you got a listing manager product with InfoServe? Do you have listing manager? Do you know, or is that something you're not familiar with? Okay, because that was
no idea. I know I've already got. I always had. City Visitor or whatever with them and something else, but my website and it was tweaked, but it's
okay. Well, okay, no, that's fine. Well, so I would recommend using one of those platforms to manage your social media campaign. I'll make sure that the team get back to you today with some answers on the social media.
Okay, I was due to speak to Susie today, and then I forgot there was a webinar, and I've got another meeting at 2:00.
Okay, no, we'll sort it. We'll sort it out.
Yeah.
So
if you can mention it, because I've asked if you can do tomorrow at the same time.
Okay. Well, we've got a copywriting team of multiple people, so it'll be one of those guys it'll be one of the team that would contact you tomorrow. I'll mention it and get someone to give you a call tomorrow. But yeah, I'd recommend those social media management platforms. We have something similar called Listing Manager, but I think that with Hootsuite and Buffer, they're probably the best ones to manage all of your social media platforms. But if you've got the time, then then maybe it's just a case of, if you want to do it for really for free, then maybe just do it on each platform manually, because there might be a fee in the future. With Hootsuite, you might have to pay something if you want to kind of upscale on that or do a bit more with Hootsuite.
Well, I'm not going to be writing a blog or posting every day.
Yeah,
I don't have time. And I tend to look or read as opposed to do something, but I will need to change that. But I need to have a decent website to go to before that. So
so you're getting one designed. Yeah, that's good. It's good that you've got one designed. And no, thank you, Mary, and hope that helps a little bit. And thanks for coming on. Anything else I can help with?
No, apart from my computer got hacked at the weekend.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah. Anyway, somebody's coming to sort it out this afternoon, although he did some over the phone, which was brilliant. So I'm replacing my IT guy who has not responded at all.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, we have a familiar chap that comes into the webinars. I've spoken to him. He's lovely. If you need any IT help, Greenlight Support. If you Google Greenlight Support, he's a lovely guy. He say that I recommended you, and he'll help you out if you need any further help.
Where are they based?
They're based in Eastbourne, but they're able to do remote. They can do it.
Yeah, that's what my IT guy always did.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No worries. All right.
Okay. See you next week.
See you next
Bye.
week. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. If anyone else, and we do have someone else, Leslie wants to come in. So I've got a little bit more time here. I appreciate if anyone needs to dash off. That's okay, but we do have a little bit more time here. Gina, no, I don't think unless if you paid for copywriting, then the copywriter should write the content on your website. It depends on how much you pay, Gina. I mean, I don't know what value you paid for that website, but I wouldn't say that you should be writing 300 words of text. But if I was a web designer and a copywriter, obviously we'd write the content, but I probably would get a bit of a steer from the business owner, because I think your business best. And I don't know if they're asking you to maybe come up with a couple of ideas, but essentially the copywriter should be writing the content. So I've accepted someone into the live call. Hopefully that'll work, and we'll be seeing them in a second. Denise, you mentioned the impact of carousel images on the homepage. We have one with a newspaper, with newspaper images moving. So you've got a carousel. Do you think we need to change this? Denise, can you put your... Oh, there we go. I've got your link now. Let's all have a look at Denise's website, if that's okay. So you've got a carousel, you're saying. I don't... Oh, here we go. So this is the carousel. Okay. Very different to the type of business that I've been referring to. Actually, I quite like this one because it isn't automatic. So you see how I can change this myself? Remember, I said the user needs to be in control. And this is good. The fact that I'm in control of movement and that it isn't doing it automatically. I don't think it's doing it automatically anyway. I just refresh. It doesn't seem to be going through automatically. So I'm in control of this. 10 out of 10, Denise, that's a good example of how to do it. And that's something I mentioned. And I actually said in the webinar that I needed an example. And yours is a great example there where I can just pull through and change the carousel. So I think we had Leslie, were you joining? I believe it was Leslie. I don't know if anyone's had issues joining it, but I did accept someone to join the webinar there. I hope that's worked okay. But any other questions? I'm just checking through. Emily, if you don't like the blog headline, how about article perhaps? Yeah, article is good, but again, there's no sort of value proposition in the word article or blog, in my opinion. There's no kind of so we have come up with our own that we're launching soon called Help Hub. So hub, basically. And I think that adds a little bit more value, if that makes sense, Emily. So instead of maybe blog, article, we've been thinking Help Hub, and we're going to be putting loads of articles up about how you can, do more with your digital marketing. But Emily, I think essentially it's okay to have the word blog in the post, however, but lead with the headline of here's 3 ways to get, I don't know, to feel less stressed, that kind of thing. So lead with a creative headline if you can. Okay, so I'm just checking if there's any last questions, because obviously if you want to join the webinar, I've got a couple more minutes. If you want to join in, just click speak and you can join on the live video. Looks like there's no more questions. So I will... I'll try and answer a couple more at the top here, and then we'll leave it. So Amy and Gavin, good to see 2 people in one. What would you use as a tab heading for blog content? At the minute, we have it as news. News is okay if you think your audience is interested in news. I mean, you've got to put yourself in the consumer's shoes. Are they actually interested in reading the news on your website? But news is better than blog. I do prefer news to blog. So you're on the right track. In terms of, like I said, we're changing ours from news. We actually have news at the moment. We're changing it to Help Hub. Or you could maybe put knowledge center if it was more knowledge based. But with yours being news, maybe, I don't know, late on the spot, I'm struggling with that one. But I think news is okay. Like I say, we're changing ours to hub or help hub. So maybe that's going to send you on the right tracks. Okay, so we've got one last person that wants to join. Leslie wants to join. Leslie, you just need to enable the video and audio, and then you will join. Let's see, everyone, if we can get one last person in, and if it doesn't work, we will leave it there. Let's see if we can get someone in the final few moments of this webinar. So we'll see if Leslie is joining. I think she might have some issues, some technical issues. But it usually does take a few seconds. So just checking that all out. If there's any other questions whilst we wait for Leslie, please don't hesitate to ask. Amy and Gavin, if you want to join, you just click the speak button. And if you want to click the speak button, you can join live on the webinar just for these last, well, it's 20 minutes now, but the aim of the game is to finish the presentation within an hour, and then we can have some Q&A if anyone wants to stick around, because we're only doing these once a week now. So, okay, so you've clicked the speak button. Amy and Gavin, I'm going to let you in. You just need to enable video and audio. So it'll come up with maybe a pop-up that says, do you want to enable? And it'll let you do that. So for everyone else that's still here, we still have Amy and Gavin joining live on the webinar. It's always fun to do this, and it's always good to get a question. Let me just grab a glass of water whilst we're waiting. I need a bit more of a bigger desk area. So Amy and Gavin should be joining in now, and we will see what their question is any moment now. I say that, but here we go. They've joined. So they'll be coming in. And as long as the audio is on, you might need to click the screen icon as well. If you want to enable video, there's a screen icon, or there's a kind of a webcam icon, sorry. But we can hear you, Amy and Gavin, sorry.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for joining. Yeah, I mean, if you want to enable your camera, you can, but at the moment it's off, so that's all good. But yeah, how can I help?
I don't know. I thought it was more of a group thing, really. So I was just kind of joining in, I suppose.
Oh, okay. No, that's okay. That's okay. I was just what I'm saying is, if anyone's got any questions that they want to ask, you know, if you have a question. I think you asked a good one about your blog. Do you want to elaborate on the blog? Or how about I grab your website URL and we have a quick look? Do you want to do that?
That'd be great. How is it that? There we go.
There we go. It's always good to see someone else on these webinars. Thank you. Thank you. Hello.
Yeah, so we're Latham's Holiday Let's Retreats. Okay. We're just in the process of setting up our website and a channel manager. Okay. My boyfriend and I took over in February, pre-COVID. So we had 3 guests, no channel manager or not a great website. Our website's WordPress at the moment.
Okay.
So we're just really trying to get the website and the channel manager up and running in kind of conjunction. So Graham's been really great. I think the original kind of preview that we got was from elsewhere. It was all a bit kind of bitty and all over the place.
Okay.
So I do need to get back to Graham with some changes that I've, he's suggested and he's done. You know, it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
how
it's
do you?
just really,
Oh, how do you spell the business name? Sorry.
Latham's Laythams.
Yep. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I've found it. I've even found the website that we're building for you. If you want me to share it, you do not want me to share that one yet, I presume? Or...
Yeah, you can share it. That's fine.
Okay,
so
let me just.
I'm just really I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I want it perfect before it goes live.
Yeah.
But I'm very aware now at the moment that our channel manager would make my life a lot easier. So I'm just in the process of trying to get it, the basics up, so I can get all this channel manager, and then I think I can kind of integrate it. Graham's given me permission to kind of look at it and change the text and things, you know.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's I say I've been through loads of changes and things with him.
Yeah.
You know, like, so I'm looking at, you know, like this, like you're talking about homepage.
Yeah.
I understand why he's built the website as he has when we're thinking about search engine optimization and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You look at the home screen, that's very much like, you know, picking out all these things in description and location.
Yeah.
But in my mind, it doesn't tell us anything about Latham's. If I looked at this website, I'd think it's great for search engine optimization, but it doesn't really tell me much. You know what I mean? So I really want to kind of drill down into things that you were talking about, you know, like the features, what we can offer people, and particularly like in this first one, you know, welcome to Latham's Holiday Let's Retreat. It's a bit naff really, and it's smaller than like the description below and all that kind of thing. So it's kind of looking into all that. The text that we have on our old WordPress website is very random. I think it's all just been kind of cobbled together at different stages. So I really, really want to kind of get into just having it standardized. So what we have on our website is the information that I put on the channel manager and things like that. So at the moment, I'm really trying to get that descriptive text and things organized. So it's kind of got some standardization, and then I'm hoping that if I put it on the website, because he said I can edit it, have a go at it, that then Graham would look at it in terms of SEO and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you've got some great unique selling points, gold rated, amazing reviews and finalists. This is, you can see my screen, I hope. I mean, you've got, this is amazing. I don't know whether you need to kind of try to incorporate that in the headline or not, you know.
On the homepage, you know what you were talking about. To me, this is descriptive SEO. And to me, it should be more about what we can offer them and the benefits. So my first idea would be we're in ANOB. So, you know, that's quite a unique landscape and, you know, very relaxing, open. You know, there isn't many ANOBs. We're dark skies, all that kind of thing. So I think what I would be looking at is language that people use kind of do with ANOBs, and kind of using that within our website to try and it as a unique thing and our surroundings.
I agree. No, sorry, I completely agree. You've got some very good points, and also in terms of think about the benefit. How does your service make people feel, or what's the outcome and result? You know, I'm picking up this like tranquil, relaxing vibe from you know, obviously the accommodation was amazing. I mean, I wouldn't mind staying there. We're not far away from you, are we? Actually, so.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I will. I might see if I can get some discount with you. But I'd be really focusing in on the I mean, you've got the dream location, haven't you, and luxury kind of side of things. I wonder if there's more to be done around that. Yeah, and obviously, like you say,
you know what I mean. It doesn't tell me anything. It's a bit like I've got some ladies who do the social media, and before we took over, we had a social media presence.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel very personal. They were putting all the right posts on at exactly the right time, things like that. But it wasn't very personal, you know.
Well, I mean, you mentioned about the news, the blog, and you were saying, is there a better thing you can, a better word?
On news, I'd be like, I don't want to know about news. It makes me think of the BBC and coronavirus and things like that. It doesn't evoke kind of.
What about?
What I want to say,
you know, lifestyle blog, or you know, you could you know, local area, or something. You could really kind of maybe focusing on the local area and what's happening. Maybe what's happening would be a better way to.
Yeah, what's happening. I mean, I like the idea of making it more personal. So
Yep.
instead of saying contact us, I want to be something more like get in touch. And in this, I was looking at my inquiry form, what you were talking about, things being horizontal, maybe that needs to be vertical. I tried it. Phone number is, you have to have that phone number. So again, I kind of want to get rid of that, really. It won't let you.
Yeah, that's the thing is do you need the phone number? Yeah.
Put my phone number in. You're absolutely right.
That's
I
a
would
good point.
probably not do that.
Yeah, that's a very good point. For you especially, is there actually any need to have that? That's a massive point, actually. I mean, yeah, get in touch. It feels a bit more relaxed, doesn't it? I just wonder whether it sometimes is a bit of an American phrase, the get in touch thing. I mean, what does it get in touch? I don't know. I think there's pros and cons to both. Contact us is a little bit more to the point, I guess, but again, is it a bit more formal? Yeah, I do agree with the form though, so let's pick that up. I know this is work in progress anyway, so
it's a massive work in progress. Like I look at it and it's not how I want it to be yet at all.
So there's food for thought around the benefit, adding the benefit. How does it make people feel? What's the outcome? What's the result? What's the result of staying at your cottages? Basically that's what we want to get across.
Like your primary and your secondary.
Yeah, that's it. Interesting though. Some good points there as well, and hopefully some of that might help. But I agree with the news. Maybe what's happening might be a better, something along those lines, or lifestyle, or what's the purpose of the news anyway? What would be the purpose of your blog? Is it just for?
I have no idea. This is all stuff that was here before I came, so I don't know. Speak to Graham.
What
again.
about? Yeah, so I was going to say, what about the area? The local area. Maybe we could turn that into a local area page rather than news.
Well, I think activities is local area.
Okay. Activities sounds. Yeah, that sounds a bit like it should be. And maybe we could even use things to. The local area would be a better page name, for example, rather than activities, because that sounds like the activities that you've got within your cottages. Whereas I don't think this is it? This is like what's happening in the local area. So you also need some content around the local area. So whereabouts are you in the Dales?
We're in the heart of the Ribble Valley, near the Yorkshire Dales. Kind of like in the middle of the Forest of Bowland. So
you need a map, because you notice one of my first questions is whereabouts are you?
Well,
that's all I'm as a consumer. That's all I'm bothered about is literally where are you on the map? And
I think on contact us. So I got Graham to take the map out of every page. When we're talking about having to scroll through all this stuff before you get what you want. Yeah. And in my mind, you don't need the map. It was like it felt like it formed part of the footer. So every time I'm scrolling through a map, and I don't want to know that, I think there was a find us button, was there? Yeah,
find us, our location. I mean, these are different places, aren't they? These are the different.
There's 4. So the farmhouse that you're looking at now, that's 3. But that's my house there. This one, that's where I'm sat. And then there's 3 other, and then the lake house is about half a mile away. Down a private road, and that's off grid. So that's got its own water supply, wind, solar panel. It's amazing.
Are they all kind of in the same area though? They're in the same radius. Yeah.
So I'm sat half a mile from the lake house.
Okay.
Probably less than that, and it's all on the same property. So it's 120 acres of private land, of which the farmhouse and the lake house are both there.
Okay. Is there prices from at all on here as well, or is it?
No. So prices. Yeah. So I'm hoping I've got a Vivo.
Yeah.
Doing my channel manager thing. So what I'm hoping is when these all integrate, the prices and the booking bit will be taken over by them. I'm not quite sure how it works. Apparently I need to give you a link.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's right. We need to link it to that booking system. So, I mean, it can be done. You can actually have it within the website itself if you want to, or you can use a third party like the one you mentioned. I can't remember the name, but yeah, you can use those. Yeah. So, interesting. Yeah, maybe just the prices is the things that I'm keen on as a consumer is whereabouts are you? That's kind of first things I want to know is because can I even be bothered to drive out that far? But whereabouts are you? And because I know the area quite well as well, so it'd be interesting to know where each kind of cottage, etc., is, and then the prices, facilities is important as well. So I see that you've got, that's good.
Yeah, this was quite a big thing that I kind of wanted to talk to Graham about. What I didn't want to do is send in this huge long list of stuff to do. I thought we'll do the basics and then we'll kind of move on, which is kind of about that. And again, I don't know how my booking system, Evivo, is going to integrate and look on the website. Now, one of my big things that I want to be able to do as a customer and a business owner is for to be able to look at prices the whole year. I don't want to have to put in, I want to come Monday to Friday in February to be able to get a price. I want to look at a calendar for a year and see where things are cheap, any offer, that kind of thing.
Like Skyscanner kind of thing. I don't know if you've used Skyscanner, but you can view, you can actually see when the cheapest month is even.
That's what I want, so like if I had a calendar like this, I want to see the price per night. We're very much not going for like smart pricing or flexible pricing. I think we're going to go for things like, just low, mid and high season and keep our prices static. I think that's the kind of market we want. I don't want someone to look on a Friday for it. That's not really what we're aiming for. So as part of the website, I would really like to have our rates and charges there,
Okay.
Is that possible?
Well, yeah, I mean that might be possible. It's certainly possible with the third party. You can do that kind of thing. Let's talk to Graham about that and see if we can, because that is possible. I've seen that before. But I would highlight the pricing quite soon on that web. If we can have that prices from, maybe that can really lure people in.
Rack rate's high, isn't it?
And then or at least have the facilities quite clear at the top of the page. Maybe I probably would. The only tweak I would have said is in the hero image. So at the top of the page there, you've got so just to go back, you've got this image at the top. I would probably be using that as I was showing the other example there, where you've got a gallery of images at the top that you can go through the images straight away, rather than going down to images, for example, or at least link down to the images. It could be this could be view the gallery, for example, and it goes down.
I don't like inquire now on that page. I just think like, what's it? Well, you've got a slightly different version to me.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, maybe it's changing.
That's the old version. So Graham's done a bit of tweaking on this now. So what I can see is welcome to Latham's Holiday Let's Retreat.
Yeah.
And then I got him to shuffle it round like this. Because he had it with kind of capital letters and all kind of running. It looked a bit weird. Now, what you were saying about the carousel, I think we should probably just...
That's okay, though. This one's okay because it's just image and the text stays on the same page. So you don't lose the... you've got the important information is here. So it's actually okay with this. But quite often you'll see carousels where the text and the image changes on each. So that's really not good anymore because you lose the important information as it goes to the next carousel. But this is fine. Yeah, this is okay. The team, we're pretty much okay with that now, and we're clued up. But okay. Well, I think we should pick it up with Graham separately, and hope it's interesting.
This was a bit of a pleasant surprise. I just thought it was going to be like
no, it's fine. I mean, I hope this has helped anyone else as well, because we've still got 30 odd people watching. So hopefully it's helped. Yeah, we're just watching us have a chat. It's okay, Amy. Don't worry. But let's pick it up with Graham afterwards. And thank you for joining. I really appreciate you coming in. And
it's trying to get it all together, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Just wondering. I'm pushing with the Avivo side of it at the moment because I just feel like the information that I'm putting in there, I can then put in my website.
Put it on the website. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I think the main takeaway here is the blog, and we need to look at the news. Let's have a look at that, and then the headline text on the hero image. But because Adam's saying, Adam said it. Sorry,
I quite liked blog until you said I never read blogs, and I never read blogs. I just think they're very interesting, but a bit too long. And you're like,
exactly, who cares what people are saying about their own business?
And it's not a blog.
That's it. So you've got to add value. You've got to add value. You've got to give. It's got to be a compelling or catchy headline that people are going to go, oh, I want to read that because I know I'm going to learn something. I'm going to find something that.
Bricks. I love that because I'd be well in.
Definitely. Yeah. Okay, I'll let you go. Thank you so much, Amy, and have a good day.
Thanks.
Bye. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'll let you go. I have considered doing a Q&A more often, not a webinar, but more of a Q&A. Do let me know if that is useful. But thank you for joining today. A nice, juicy webinar today with lots of useful content. Link at the top for the YouTube playlist. But if anyone wants our help, obviously we're helping Amy out there. I've never met Amy. I don't know. I didn't know we were doing that. So that's fantastic. It's great to see a website being built, work in progress. If you need any help, of course, if you need help with web design, etc., we can support you and help you. Link is at the top of the chat. We do design, conversion rate optimization, and search engine optimization. Get in touch. But thank you again. I am going to let you go. We'll see you next week at 11 a.m. and have a lovely few days. And let's get to work with some of the things that we've taught you today. And we're looking forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Have a great day.